Because I'm going to tell you, if I'm a GM and I'm telling you, you're not worth as much as you think, your feelings are going to get hurt.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me take away with
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by DC Danny Cole, UPenn's finest. And we may or may not be seeing Culture Boy CB today as he's dealing with some stuff. But you already know we're going to hold it down for him. We're going to be, of course, Summits Plummets of the NCAA tournament because it is still March Madness. We're going to be going over our favorite big fellas, the offensive line. It is. Yeah, and that's the thing. March Madness finishes in April. Is it April agony? Who knows? But of course, we're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson, who another episode in the saga has started. As he has announced, he requested a trade at the beginning of the month. We'll be, of course, doing a Take the Skyline. This time we'll be doing Jaylen Brown, who has been heavily disrespected by Celtics Nation, and that needs to stop. And then, of course, Danny has an outro game, but might be all by myself, so I'm going to have to really enter my bag. Again, if you guys hear a bird, it's my bird, Jello. I'm going to hold up.
Named after LiAngelo?
Yes, named after LiAngelo, the goat ball, I fear. Now, but getting into the Summits and Plum. Oh, Danny, how are you doing? My bad.
It's a great day in Philadelphia. The weather's heating up. Baseball season's starting. That's really the W of it's a summit we're not going to talk about. Baseball season, we're one day out. We'll be 1 week in, I guess, next episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Phillies will be anticipating their home opener next Thursday after our episode. So it's a great day. Can't beat it.
We'll talk a little bit about it next week for sure. I just want to start with my summit. Caitlin Clark is the best player in college basketball.
Woo! She's
tough.
cold.
She's tough, man.
She's the best player in the WNBA right now.
She probably, I don't know. Maybe. Bro, I'd say
she's
so.
Gonna be the Steph Curry of the WNBA.
Yeah, her Paige, and Sabrina are like going to carry the next generation.
Bro, you know Steph is 35.
He's old, man. He's getting old.
When did he become 35?
I know, bro. It's just like yesterday, man. He made his first All-Star game at like 25. Can you believe that? It took him like 5 years to make an All-Star. Like, unreal. He just couldn't stay
How has Steph been in the league for like – Steph's almost as old as LeBron, and we're like, what?
Yeah, he's only 3.5 years younger than LeBron. Unreal.
It's weird to feel that way because LeBron's been around for like since the dinosaurs were born, bro. Like,
yeah. Bro grew up with Duke Dennis. I'll just swing in my Plummet and I'll let you get in both. Plummets 1 seed. I don't know if you agree or not. These dudes stink. That's the most fraudulent batch of 1 seeds I've ever seen, I think.
I think that Houston was on fraud watch for a while, and we both said this, that Houston was on fraud watch. They ran into Miami, who has 5 guys that can outrun you all game. They literally have 5 spawns of De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. 5 J-dubs.
But literally. So I think Houston was kind of fraud watch all year. They ran into Miami. Better offense. Kind of got fraud watch. Purdue was really the surprise, though. Can't really beat that. FDU.
Can't be losing to Fairleigh Dickinson. That is unreal.
So is Dickinson
or
Roberts.
Is Purdue the Plummet or is Fraudston the Plummet? What is?
I think the Plummet is Gonzaga actually. Timmy almost fouled out.
They got
down
destroyed.
by 30. They lost by 30. How do you lose by 30, bro? How do you lose by 30? To go to it's like not even to like in the NCAA finals. I get if you're outclassed by like a crazy generational team. Bro, you lost by 30 in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that unreal. Like seeing blowouts, anything past like the first 2 rounds is like, what is going on?
Here's something crazy though. UConn has 3 players doing Ramadan.
Yeah, getting your butt whooped by someone who on an empty stomach is unreal. And
Here's the
Kyrie's
thing,
doing
though.
it. Jaylen
You
Brown
know,
is doing it. It's crazy. Shout out to them.
UConn. What time they play on Saturday? They play at night.
I would not know. Not gonna lie to you.
Let me check. I think they play at 6 p.m.
The fellas are tuning in to Caitlin Clark. So
For sure.
got
UConn
to.
plays at 8:49, which means that their players can carb up essentially before the game because the sun has gone down. They're getting
That
that
is
water in.
Yeah, that's gonna go hard. But enough in the NCAA tournament. Shout out to them though for doing Ramadan. During the tournament. Me and
That's the
Danny got
W actually. That's the summit. They're doing Ramadan during the tournament, and the plummet is Gonzaga getting killed by players doing Ramadan.
Drew Timmy's coming back to get his get back.
The 5th year.
So we're going to get into our offensive lineman review. And I'm going to be honest, this was probably our hardest one because this is we'll say 3 different positions to judge. And honestly, left tackle is so different from right tackle. And then they're one group. It was really tough, but it's such a good group, honestly.
You don't want to do a bust?
Oh, no, we can. I'm down.
I'm down for a bust.
I'm down. No, let's start with it. You go first. I'll let you. Floor's yours.
My bust is Broderick Jones.
Ooh. I'm pretty sure someone commented on your short that they went to high school with Broderick Jones. So if you see this man, I'm sorry.
That's rough. He's a chance to be really good though. I just think that some of his technical abilities are not sound. He's beast. He's large. He's sound. I mean, he's really big. He just if he improves on his like technical ability, he'd be great. But because he's like technical ability is not the best, that's probably why.
I definitely see where you're coming from on that one. But I think he's very athletic and he can get out into space and he's got a good first step. But like you said, the technique needs a lot of work. And unfortunately, yes, an offensive line, an NFL offensive line coach will end up fixing that for you. But unfortunately, not everyone has like a Jeff Stoutland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not everybody's going to be molded completely into this like monster. But I do see life for him as a guard. Maybe he could start out as a guard because that interior footwork doesn't have to be as perfect. And then maybe as he perfects it, he can maybe like switch around on the line. But I would agree that could be the bust. It's almost like Anthony Richardson of the tackles, but he's just not. He doesn't have enough upside to where it's like, okay, he might be offensive tackle one.
I would argue that DeJuan Jones is really the Anthony Richardson of the tackles.
And what would he be your best sleeper or favorite?
DeJuan Jones is my sleeper of the group.
Okay.
And DeJuan Jones, I mean, I've seen lists where he's like the 5th or 6th best offensive lineman. I haven't ranked at 3. He's 6'8".
That's entirely valid.
350. And if you ever go back and watch some CJ Stroud film, one thing you'll take away is the pocket is clean. The pocket's always clean.
The outside is very clean. Yes. And the center is pretty solid too. But yeah, clean overall.
If he got drafted to the Eagles, he'd play perfect. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree. My only thing with him might be he almost is too tall sometimes. If he can learn to win the leverage battle, he'll easily be the best tackle in this class, and in my opinion, like
I don't know, Paris can ball, man.
We'll get to Paris in a moment, but we're talking about our agreement sleeper in DeJuan Jones because again, like his teammate is Paris Johnson Jr., who's getting all the love, getting all the tackle one hype. But hey, DeJuan Jones is pretty damn good. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. I would just like to see him win his leverage battle a little more. And I mean, my goodness, like if he can move like at all at that size, he's going to be amazing. Like I'm with you. That's my sleeper as well. He's such in the shadow of his own teammates, ridiculous.
Seeing that team right there, pick up DeJuan Jones, would be crazy.
That could be nice. That'd be really good for Pickett's development. Now, where do you see Jones falling though?
32.
You think he can get to 32?
Yeah, I think we take Addison there and then Jones at 32, or whoever's there, Addison or Joey Porter Jr., corner,
Well,
whoever.
the Eagles might be in a move back situation. I would like to see the Steelers, Eagles make a trade. Maybe see you guys move up. And now, if you move up, I don't know if you're taking a corner or
We're taking a corner.
receiver.
We're taking a corner if we move
You
up.
go with Gonzalez, maybe.
I think Gonzalez is gone at 10.
You think he's already gone at 10? Really?
I think the Lions love him. The Lions love corners.
So
man.
At that point, would you rather go Porter or Witherspoon?
I'd go Porter.
Corners can wait. Corners are not for another couple of weeks. But yeah, I think all right. So I'm gonna go first on my favorite tackle because Danny stole the light on both of mine. Mine is Anton Harrison. So my issue with him is that I don't know if he knows the game enough yet. He is a very raw prospect. It's just he needs to be more comfortable with the blitzes, the stunts, things like that can cross your vision, that can mess you up a little bit. But I mean, for his size, he was an absolute unit at Oklahoma. I mean, he was the most reliable guy on the offensive line. He can match the speed of almost any edge rusher in the NFL already, and he can handle guys who are super bendy. Now I'm not sitting here saying he can handle the Myles Garretts, the TJ Watts, Nick Bosa, because honestly,
who can?
Exactly. So that's one thing. With the hype that he can handle speedy edge rushers, if he gets beat in the NFL by I'm sorry, 3 defensive player of the year caliber guys, oh well. But I think he's going to be special. And I'm on the train to school this morning, and I'm going over my notes one more time. And I'm just what is stopping me from making him tackle 1? But I couldn't put it past the obvious guy. I just couldn't do it. The other guy is just a little. He's safer and he's better. So but yeah, I'll swing it to you for your favorite though. Mine being Anton Harrison and yours being.
My favorite tackle in this draft is Blake Freeman. I believe he set some sort of record for broad jump.
That's tough. Big man getting out.
And I think that really shows that he can get out in space, and he is just very athletic for a tackle. Broad jump is really important, especially you see when Lane Johnson gets his first step out and he gets into space. Having that ability within your hips as a tackle to be able to get out in space and move and pass blocks like that. You can always teach someone how to use their hands and how to use leverage. You can't teach athleticism. So that's why I'm going to say Blake Freeman.
Yeah, and a lot of people really underrate the jumping and the agility drills at the combine. Sure, that maybe they're a little overrated for quarterbacks or whatever, but for offensive linemen, the ability to move quick in short amount of spaces and see their explosiveness, I live for that. Their 10-yard splits, their 5-10 5s, their shuttle, all of that stuff, I'm all for it. And of course, I mean, Jackson Sloth Ninjigba is living off of his shuttle and cone work because he's a sloth and runs a 4.5. Can you believe people were clowning that? That's a bad thing. Oh, the guy we knew couldn't beat a single guy in a foot race, runs a 4.5. Oh, it's honestly better than I thought. 4.5 is good. 4.5 is good for someone who's not going to be a super amazing deep threat. And anyone that was clowning him, we know what you are. Quote Theo Ash. We know what you are. And then, Danny, what more do we have to say? I mean, actually, I don't know. I don't know if you'll disagree. Danny, who's the best tackle in the draft?
Best tackle is Paris Johnson.
There we go. Okay.
And that's pretty obvious. I think we both agree with that. One thing that I'll say, we talked a lot about tackles. 2 prospects that Peter Skronsky, he actually profiles more as a guard.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's T-Rex.
he gets his hands out, and he can't get his hands down on quick game, which is kind of an issue. If you play guard, it's not an issue because the guy's lined up. He's a D tackle, and you're not throwing across the middle in half a second. So
yeah, it's Skaran, and that is, in my opinion, that might be the only flaw in Skaranski's game is that his arms are too little, but that is a big enough problem to where like a lot of defensive ends in the league, like you can have the quicker first step, they're going to hit you first because their arms are longer. And it seems so simple, but I think he'd be an all-pro guard. Like I really do. But back to Paris Johnson Jr., I mean, he hasn't played a lot of games at Ohio State, but it didn't take him long to be the best lineman in the country. I mean, he's powerful. He's fast. He beats defenders to the point of attack with his steps and his hands, and he's a unit.
He's him.
Yeah, he's him. He's really good. There's not much me and Danny can really say about Paris. There's not enough we can say.
You want to watch a prototypical offensive lineman? Watch Paris Johnson.
Exactly. And if you want to watch what soon to be Hall of Fame guard, watch Peter Skoronski. But tackle is not it for that man. I apologize.
I'll tell you this: if you're looking for the last couple of years, you say, Creed Humphrey is the next Lane Johnson. I want to know who really the next. I mean, Creed Humphrey's the next Jason Kelsey. You know who's really going to be the next Jason Kelsey? John Michael Schmitz.
He's valid. He's valid. Yes, he is valid. He is such high football IQ and he's a really good run blocker. One concern is that he could get a little better in pass protection, but I mean, like,
you know what? They said the same thing about Kelsey, though, man.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be a really good pick for somebody. Imagine the Eagles draft him to back up Kelsey when Jurgens was supposed to do that. And then Dickerson was supposed to do that. And then here's what we're going to do. Lane's going to retire. We're going to bump Dickerson.
No, Lane's going to play center.
We're going to no. So let's say Lane retires next offseason. And then Jurgens is going to stay at guard. Kelsey doesn't retire, stays at center. Dickerson goes to tackle. And then we put and then we put John Michael Schmitz at left guard. And then that would be 3 Kelsey replacements that end up playing with Jason Kelsey. I'm cooking for sure. I'm cooking. And then next year, no, maybe. No. All right, but running into our next football segment, funny, talking about the best
just called Lamar
quarterback in the game, Lamar Jackson. I mean, me and Danny both know why, what's taking so long. It's the fact you got to pay him, and then you got to give 2 picks to the Ravens, bare minimum.
That's not why.
Oh, I mean, on a surface level, that's just what I thought. What were you thinking?
So I was actually talking to my sports law professor about this. He used to be an NBA agent for many years. Represented a few NFL players. He said one thing is the GMs and owners do not want to talk directly to you. Because I'm going to tell you, if I'm a GM and I'm telling you, you're not worth as much as you think, your feelings are going to get hurt. And you're going to be like, oh, maybe I don't want to play for the Ravens anymore. Let me request a trade. And that's what happened. They said that you're not worth 133. And he's like, the hell I am. I'm going to go get that from the Colts. And the Colts are like, oh, I'm not going to pay fully guaranteed, but I'll give you a lot of money. So Lamar is going to find himself in a peculiar situation where someone's going to tell him he's not worth as much money as he thinks he is because he's an MVP. And he had 2, not horrible, but he had, I would say, average to above average years. Right around average par years.
I would say if we're referring to the last 2 years, he was actually on pace to have some pretty solid passing seasons.
He got hurt.
But he got hurt. And here's the thing. He got hurt throwing the ball. He got hurt. One was not a late hit, but like he threw it, then got hit. And then the other one, he got sacked. That has nothing to do with running the football. And they think like, oh, running quarterbacks can't work. That's not why he got hurt. But yeah, I would agree with you, man. Like, look, Lamar is out of this world. And I'll go to bat for Lamar Jackson 7 days of the week, twice on Sunday for sure. But looking at look at all the quarterbacks that are getting these massive deals and these big trades. They ain't working. Like Russell Wilson, I don't know if it's just magic and they start being bad, but Russell Wilson looked horrible last year. And you can only hope that Sean Payton puts him back on track where he left off in Seattle. And then Deshaun Watson, I mean, God works in mysterious ways. That's why he sucks. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Danny, let me ask you, what would be give yourself a team, put yourself in the shoes of any NFL GM you want that might want Lamar Jackson. What deal would you give him?
What do I give him?
Yeah, name the NFL GM, the team that you would be representing, and what contract would you give Lamar Jackson? And you know what? Might as well throw in the trade package you give up for him as well.
I mean, I give him if I'm the Patriots, I
Okay.
give the apparently Meek Mill texted Kraft. Lamar wants to be a Patriot. I don't know how true this is, but apparently that happened.
That's baller.
And if I'm Billy B, I'm saying give me two firsts. You can take a linebacker maybe, or I don't know what else they'd want. Mac Jones and a linebacker. Mac Jones, maybe 2 firsts, a third, something else, maybe 3 firsts. I don't know. I give Lamar 4 years. I give him 5 years at $250 million, and I give him $180 million guaranteed, which is $50 million more guaranteed than the Ravens gave him.
So do you think his issue might be his whole contracts aren't being guaranteed?
Bro,
or...
he wants everything fucking guaranteed. It's outrageous, actually. Imagine someone said, I'm not playing unless everything's guaranteed. And he's going to do that to the point where he's not going to get a contract. And he's going to have $0 guaranteed. So you better still watch what he's doing.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course there's plenty of teams that could go make the run for him. But, I mean, I think it's best for him at this point to hire an agent and maybe let them do the talking because, look, you're not going to get your contract fully guaranteed. I know a couple of days ago I said it's more like it seems more likely he's not going to be playing for the Ravens, but I honestly feel like the Ravens have the best market for him. Like, if they can work out a deal, then, like, it will probably happen with the Ravens at this point.
Bro, this seems like Victor Oladipo land coming soon. He's going to be offered 4 years, $72 million. He's going to turn it down and get 2 years from now, he's going to get 1 year, $2 million.
I hope that doesn't happen with him. That would be
tragic.
It really would be because, like, I'm not going to tell the man, like, take your money or whatever. But
no, don't take your money. Like 3 years, 133 is a disgrace considering Daniel Jones got more money.
No,
look at the
not
market,
something like that. But
look at the market, evaluate your offers. Say I'm better than Daniel Jones, and I deserve more money. I deserve more guaranteed money, and that's what I say. Daniel Jones also got that big contract because he plays in New York, and half that shit's gonna be taxed.
Yeah, that's for sure. But we're gonna move on to our Take the Skyline segment of Jaylen Brown, as he's been in the headlines a lot this week, and it seems as if he's being underappreciated by the Boston Celtics fans. But real ones know that Celtics fans love JB. The team loves JB. We're gonna do on this, and then we're gonna get into Wemby Land. But quick run of Take the Skyline, Jaylen Brown. Dan, you taking Jaylen Brown or Pascal Siakam?
I'm taking Jaylen Brown by a lot, actually.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown's past the point of Siakam comparisons. Jaylen Brown or Zach LaVine?
Jaylen Brown by at least 10 spots.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'd go Jaylen Brown as well pretty easily there. Now, here's where we start to get a little more hot. Mind you, this is this season, so I don't want this being taken out of context. Speaking to my future self when I post this on TikTok.
You're asking Paul George, aren't you?
I'm going to say Paul George. Is he? Or no. Yeah, we'll just say is Jaylen Brown or Paul George?
I'm taking Jaylen Brown.
This season, yeah, I'd definitely take Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown or Jimmy Butler?
That's hard. Because here's the thing: you can't just say this season without understanding where Jimmy is. What he does for his team, man. What he's built in Miami. So it's hard to just say this season for Jimmy, man. But I'm gonna take JB if you're strictly talking this season. Miami's kind of been
Which JB?
Exactly.
Jaylen Brown or Jimmy Butler? He can't choose.
Yeah, I'm taking Jaylen Brown. It's just like
I would go Jaylen Brown, but I do highly respect Jimmy Butler's work, and you can't put Jimmy Butler into any serious rankings until the playoff starts because that's who he really is.
If they get in the playoffs,
I think these are more long shot ones. Jaylen Brown or Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi's been a beast since the new year, or really like the All-Star break. He's been playing like really, really well.
Yes,
Jaylen Brown or Devin Booker.
That's a hard one, man. I think you see a different side of Devin Booker when he doesn't have to be ball dominant or just kind of like play off these screens now that Kevin Durant's there. I'm taking Devin Booker, actually.
I think I'm going to go Jaylen Brown this season. He's been a little more healthier. I think he's putting up more points per game as well on better efficiency. And being the better defender. Now, mind you, if Devin Booker was playing every single game, I'd take him. But availability is best ability. Jaylen Brown or Donovan Mitchell?
Donovan's been on one. Oh.
Yeah, sad. Sorry, JB. Mitchell's been one of them.
Bro dropped 70 for the JB couldn't do that.
Real. Like,
JB couldn't do that.
JB can put up 50, but the way he gets his points, like Donovan Mitchell can get to the rim at will, and then he can heat up from three. Like, I don't know if Jaylen Brown even gets enough touches to be able to do that.
That speaks to the Celtics, man.
What are you gonna do when you have a top 10 player in the world on your team? It's tough. I mean, JB is 9th in the league in touches. Don't get it twisted. But like,
would JB be a top 10 player in the world if Tatum wasn't on the team?
Probably not. We'd probably be fighting in the play-in. And a lot of people do look at this roster and like, oh, they're so deep, they're so stacked. But I turned my echo on. Sorry.
That was funny.
Everyone look at this team and it's like, oh, the Celtics are so deep, they're so stacked. But that's really not true. You have to actually watch the games. Look at some net ratings. Look at some on and off. The team really is not like as deep as you think. They're just very complimentary to JB, JT, and
I'm with you.
Derek White, who finishes off the big three. I was going to ask this last one. Never mind. It was going to be Jaylen Brown or SGA. No, I'm not doing that. It's going to hurt my feelings. I'm not doing that.
This season it's SGA. In the future, I'm taking Jaylen Brown, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think Brown has a higher capability of becoming a top 5 player in the world. I think the Celtics have the opportunity to have 2 top 5 players in the NBA one day.
It's possible. It kind of just sees how Jaylen will progress. He's 26. We'll just see where he absolutely peaks at. But I don't think that's crazy. Now we're getting into Wemby Land. Wemby Land is Spurs, Rockets, Hornets, and Pistons. And we're just going to essentially go through each team and see why Victor Wembanyama would help them. I mean, of course, you had a franchise player and the best prospect since LeBron James, but what exactly would he help? I wanted to start with the Houston Rockets. You could probably run a superb 3 big lineup.
Stretch four Wemby.
Yeah, he could. You could run him.
Imagine the 7-5 stretch 4.
I mean, he might not play center his first year in the league. Maybe he just uses that year to build up a little bit. But you could run him, Alperen Sengun, and Jabari Smith. That would be like a huge. Could be
imagine
really
Chet
good
versus Wemby every year.
They did play each other, I believe, in the U18 World Cup or whatever, or FIFA Cup, whatever it may be. And Victor made him look like a midget. It was weird. This could also allow for Jalen Green to maybe develop his playmaking off the pick and roll, which I know Kevin Porter Jr. is the point guard, but I could see Jalen Green getting into more primary playmaking roles, and he obviously gives them a defensive anchor because their defense is horrendous. Bad.
I'm with you.
Yeah. We can move on to the Spurs. I think me and Danny are both in agreement that this would be the best player that coach, the best young guy that Coach Pop has coached since Tim Duncan.
Pop gonna retire. Pop gonna hand Wemby the keys and retire.
He got to get 1 year with Wemby, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm saying he's gonna hand him the keys.
Yeah, he's gonna get 1 year with Wemby. Show him, the ways. And then the Spurs are very good at player development. I mean, look how Kawhi Leonard came into the NBA looking to maybe be a defensive role guy. Now he became a superstar. He obviously developed. Keldon Johnson's doing pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, Victor could develop there pretty fast, in my opinion. That honestly might be the best place for him because there's not too much ego going on around there. He can play in a system and have a dignified role. And he'll be the number one right off the bat. So maybe the efficiency won't be there because he'll be the guy leading the charge, but he'll have a good number 2 in Keldon Johnson. I like the Spurs a lot for him. If you had anything to add.
I apologize, but I don't know who Keldon Johnson is.
That's no, and that might be a little casual, but no. I truly don't blame you. He's currently the best player on the Spurs. He's averaging 20 or so a game. He's been pretty solid for a little while.
To be fair, I don't know if an East Coast channel gets the Spurs on TV.
I don't think San Antonio gets the Spurs on TV.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Charles
No
Barkley
one wants to
certainly
watch
doesn't.
that.
Yeah, not this year, but they're surprisingly still not the worst team in basketball. Arguably worst team in basketball, but has lately been giving teams fits is the Charlotte Hornets, who beat an Oklahoma City team that had 3 30-point scorers last night. But they're in Wemby Land, I fear. And the benefits here, a LaMelo Ball and Victor Wembanyama run offense would be nuts.
Oh, wait, one more comment about the Spurs. Devontae
right.
Graham with Wemby would be wild.
Yeah. It could be a
Devontae Graham is like low-key one of the most exciting players in the league to watch.
Yeah, because
that dude can hoop, man.
Yeah, for sure. So with the Hornets, Victor would
still in the Hornets.
He is, unfortunately, still. He just never plays because he's always hurt. The
spacing Back to the Celtics he goes.
The spacing would be way better. They would get the elite rim protector they've needed for years. They'd be in the playoffs twice already. LaMelo Ball would be in the playoffs twice already if they had a legit center. But
you're telling me, yeah, Plumlee's not elite?
Plum Dog Millionaire. I love him to death. My goodness, he can't play defense. But I mean, look, pretty solid backup center on offense, but he can't guard nobody.
Yeah, no, he can't.
But when he pull up Jimbos from the baseline in games, you got a spot in this league.
I'll tell you this, man. Yeah. If the Hornets just had their best player not get convicted for abuse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they probably would be fighting for at least a play-in spot this year, but they aren't, and maybe they get him back next year, and then you'll run away.
And their best player doesn't get hurt.
Melo, Bridges, and Victor, but I think Victor again would provide elite rim protection, which they've needed forever. Would give Melo an actual number 2, or Melo would be the 2. He'd give him a running mate, and the spacing would improve tremendously.
I'm with you. Let's move on to my favorite landing spot for him, which is the Detroit Pistons. It appears that sports are finally getting good again in Detroit after like 15 years of being horrendous.
Yeah, it's been a long drop.
Ivy and Cade, yeah, players that can hoop right now. You add Victor to the mix, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Killian Hayes is doing a pretty good job making sure they get that damn pick. So, I think. Man. Cade, people forget how good Cade was really his rookie year. Every single game against the Celtics, he gave them fits. I think Cade and him would be an elite duo, like almost immediately. Like I think
Ivy is really the real duo.
Yeah, and Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Victor Wembanyama would be a very solid young core to build off of. James Wiseman.
That's almost too young. That's like almost too young.
It's almost like it's almost like the Thunder. It's like, is the unit good, or do you just have a lot of young guys? But I think that those top 3 in your unit would be very good. Obviously helps their spacing. James Wiseman is not the answer as your stretch center. That dude can't play.
Yeah. It's kind of bringing me back to like 2014, 2013 time with the Warriors, where you have these young guys that like Steph was what 30, 25. Mm-hmm. These young guys, not many people have heard of, and everyone's making some runs. That's gonna be Pistons in a few years. They're gonna be young. They're gonna be in their early 20s. They're gonna be in their mid 20s.
They're gonna be fun.
They're gonna have guys that are gonna like. You can be like, why are they in the championship every year?
Yeah, homegrown teams are the way to go, and that was Wemby Land. Which teams will benefit the most from landing Victor Wembanyama? But of course, before we get out of here, we have an outro game. Danny has an NFL player in mind, and I have to guess it on my solo today. So
your solo today. We're back to the old format. There's one thing. I think this one's going to be hard for you. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Is this player currently playing?
Nope, he's inactive.
Is this player in the Hall of Fame?
Let me search that up.
Yeah, take your time. We need the most accurate facts.
Nope.
He's not in the Hall of Fame. Has he been retired for at least 5 years?
Yes.
He has been retired for at least. So he's Hall of Fame eligible. He's just not in there yet. Wow. Okay. Did he play majority of his career in the NFC?
Yes.
Okay. Did he play in the NFC East?
No.
No. Okay. Did he play in the North?
Yes. It's 6.
Okay. So he's in the He's in the NFC North. A player has been retired for more than 5 years. Is this player a Viking?
Yes, he is.
He's a Viking. Okay. I'm just looking up the name of the player I have. I don't want to get their name wrong. Okay. Don't know why I would get that name wrong. Is this Jared Allen?
No, it is not.
Damn. Okay. So what's that? 8 questions? Is that 8?
It's 8 questions.
Okay. So he's a Viking. Been retired for more than 5 years. Did this player play on offense?
Yes, he does. It's 9.
Okay. Is this Percy Harvin?
Yes, it is Percy Harvin.
Fucking go, man. That was going to be my second guess.
then.
I was really hoping it was Jared Allen, though. Respect to Jared Allen. But Jared Allen just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, didn't he? Or is he a finalist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
Respect
I
Percy
don't know if he got in
Harvin,
the Hall of Fame. That's a good pull right there. One of the best returners of all time. He played a couple years in Seattle. My original guy was Jericho Cotchery, but we did that last week because I was kind of excited to do it. He got in what? What'd you get in? 16, 17? Which is insane.
It might have been 18. It was hard.
Jericho Cotchery put up 1,000 yards. He's had a better career than Percy Harvin, actually.
Percy Harvin was actually the leading rusher for the Seattle Supersonics. He was the leading rusher for the Seattle Seahawks in their Super Bowl against the Broncos, which is fun stuff.
You know, Percy Harvin did nothing in Seattle.
Yeah, no, they traded for him, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And yeah, it was "Oh my god" because they were good, but like he had nothing to do with it. So.
You know, his first year in Minnesota, he had 1,000 yards off kick returns.
1,000 yards off kick returns.
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm pretty sure Urban Meyer was like he's the best athlete he's ever watched or coached or something like that. So shout out to Percy Harvin. But with that being said, we're wrapping up a lot earlier than normal because we sadly don't have our third input. But make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening to on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. Go to the YouTube, give us a sub. And if you're listening on YouTube, go to the podcast platform. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and leave a download. You know, we'd really appreciate it. We're on the road to 200 subscribers on YouTube, and we've been climbing very fast. Thank you for the continuous support. Make sure you follow us on every social media at Sideline Summit for daily content. We're pushing that out daily for you guys. Danny, anything to say before we roll on out of here?
It's been a great episode. Very condensed compared to our with Chris. Look forward to having Chris back next week, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna be great. Go Phils, go MLB. Everything's back, and go UConn. We're doubling down
for sure. This has been Sideline Summit. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a good one.